I didn't think I was gonna play Hokko Life again, but I decided to take it as a 3D modeling game. So I decided to build a park with a nice food truck. I looked for references online of something that would be cute for the space but also challenging for me to make, as I did want to test my building skills. I decided to use the most common wood in the game, and that was because even though I hate the color and hate the texture, I knew I could paint it afterwards, and because it's so common, I wouldn't have to go and grind so many materials all the time just to get this complete. Before I started working on the ceiling, I actually wanted to get some small details of the inside and the outside done because then it would have been more difficult to actually do the ceiling and then do the interior. I decided to do as the reference truck does and round the edge in the ceiling, and that was because it would give it a more cutesy and less blocky type of structure, and that's what I was going for. So I decided to do it even though it took some time to actually get the rounder edge done. As I started moving into the interior, I actually wanted to do a little bit of something more elaborate, but then I realized that when I placed this truck into the world, it will not be able to be viewed because I wanted to add a little tent in the window so it would actually block the view of the interior, and then it doesn't make sense to actually start building a complex interior. So I just added a few stuff to give it a little bit of something inside if in case something is viewed, but nothing too elaborate. For the window and the accents, I decided to use copper as it's one of the most common materials and it's kind of the most common metal in the game, so I didn't want to have to grind for materials as I was making this, although I had to at some point, but I just wanted to use what was most common. At this point, I really hadn't decided if I wanted to make more wooden wheels or more realistic rubber wheels. But honestly, after I had already decided on doing a chalkboard, I decided to just make the wheels rubber and make them black so they would fit the aesthetic, and I think it's looking pretty good. I also kind of changed my idea. I wanted it to be kind of like a coffee truck, food truck, but then I actually don't like coffee that much, so then I thought maybe like a herbal tea sort of situation truck, and I thought like making it more of a natural vibe. Finally, I decided to add the last couple of details that would actually make the truck look amazing, like the details on the wheels and the details on the windows and on the doors. And I thought those kinds of things actually make the design even better. When I was happy with what I had, I decided to paint the truck the color that I wanted it to be and then just add the final touches, and I think it turned out so amazing and I actually loved doing this. It is the best thing I have done in this game so far. Because of the park idea I had, I also wanted to accompany this idea of the food truck with some metal furniture for the park. And I thought that would be very nice because the metalwork from the chairs and tables would be able to complement the accents of the truck. So for the benches, I actually wanted them to be very odd looking and strange and cool. So I made these strange shapes that I thought would be very nice and would actually be able to support someone in the real world. I didn't want to make them something extremely crazy that defied the logic because I want the aesthetic to actually be realistic but also cutesy. And I think they turned out really well with the materials I used to actually build the chair. And I also wanted to transfer that when I started to create the tables. Different from the chairs, I did want to make the tables a little bit more different and also use materials that I also had used in the truck, like the glass. And I wanted it to be something that would actually work because I wanted to keep this structure of like kind of industrial and webbing of the metal, but I also wanted it to be able to support something. So I think adding the top layer of glass kind of kept the aesthetic visible, but also kind of made it a little bit more realistic. Also, in a way, it's kind of inspired by the table in my house, which I grew up with. It was literally a block of stone, and on top of it, there was a slab of glass, and that was it. And I thought that was very beautiful and also very useful. I've had a lot of fun actually playing the game in this way, and I think I'm gonna do that if I play it again because using it as a 3 modeling game is actually way more fun than doing accomplishments and achievements and unlocking all the other features that I don't think they're that fun as doing this because I could probably do them in another game and they would be so much better. So, yeah, I'm gonna be using the feature that I haven't seen in any other game. Thank you for watching and let me know in the comments if you have created wonderful things on Hokko Life or in any other building game. Also, if you like my content, like, subscribe, and ring the bell to get notified for future videos. Bye!